Okay, this is safe option strategies. What this is about is option spreads. There's nothing, of course, totally safe about trading options, but what I'm going to show you is a lot more safe than just playing straight options. A lot less risk. Option spreads, what are they? Well, before we get into that, let's review what we know already from a previous video. A call option is a contract that grants you the right to buy a stock at a specific price for a specific period of time. A put option is a contract that grants you the right to sell a stock at a specific price for a specific period of time. So miscellaneous definitions, because you'll hear them a lot in the options universe. Strike price, that's the price that the option contract grants for buying a call option or selling put option. Expiration, the date of the option that the contract expires. After this date, the contract is void and worthless. Premium, that's the amount that is paid to acquire the option contract, usually pennies to the stock dollar. Now keep in mind the premium is separate and beyond the value of the option because of the underlying stock. In other words, if the stock is up $1 above your strike price or call option, that means the option is worth at least $1, but there might be an additional premium to acquire that option, and that's separate. But those together are what constitutes the option value. In the money, that means for calls, the underlying stock is above the strike price or below the stock price for puts. So for example, if the stock is at $100 and you have a $100 option to buy, if it goes up to 101, the option also goes up in $1 in value. So if it started out at $1, it's now $2. Why is that significant? Because in the stock you made a 1% gain. On the option you made a 100% gain. Went from $1 to $2. As we mentioned in the previous video, doesn't this look like a no-brainer? Why would anybody trade stocks when you can get like a 10-to-1 advantage with options? So isn't it a no-brainer? The answer is no, and the main reason is premiums. Now in the previous video we said the main reason it's not a no-brainer is that options decay. Well, it's the same thing, and I'll show you why. The dollar option you bought that goes to $2, that's if the stock makes a big move really quick. So the dollar is the premium, and here's the problem. If the stock is flat during that whole time to expiration, the dollar premium becomes worth less and less and less, and finally it expires at zero. If the option is not above the strike price, the whole option is worthless and it's worth zero. So you can immediately see that the dollar premium is really what you're risking. Premiums can kill you on options trading. So if you're paying a dollar premium, the stock can do okay. It can just sort of meander around, go up a tiny bit. You can still lose, you see, because the premium decays. There's two solutions to this problem, and that's where we get into spreads. One is to sell the premium to others. I'll show you how you do that. Or two, reduce the premium to an acceptable level. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, selling premiums. It's called the credit spread. A credit spread is when you sell a call or put in such a way that your account is credited. That's why you call it a credit spread. So in other words, the moment you make the trade, the cash value of your account goes up. And you'll see why in a sec. A debit spread is when you buy and sell an option in which your account is initially debited. So it's like going with a straight option, your account is debited once you buy it. Same thing with a debit spread, but you'll see what the advantages of a debit spread a little later. Okay, let's go over the credit spread. It requires that you sell an option. That's very interesting. If people are losing on options because of the premium, well, why not get on the other side of the casino, as it were, and sell those premiums to other people. Requires that you buy an option out of the money at the same time, at the same expiration date. There's a reason for that, which I'll get into. Both buy and sell occur simultaneously as one transaction with your broker. So most brokerages, online brokers, have spread options, and you can pick which one you want. If you pick credit spread, assuming they're defining it the same way I am, then in one transaction you're going to sell an option and then buy an option at the same time. And here's how. Here's an example of a credit spread. FXI, which is the China ETF, at the time that I created this slide, it was trading at 46.24. Okay, we think it's going to go down, so let's do a credit spread to take advantage of the fact that it probably will go down, or at best go sideways. We sell a $46.50 strike. Expiration is in 1 week. The cost of that option is 55 cents. At the same time, we buy a $47 strike, also expiring in a week, and the price of that is 38 cents. So here's what's happened. The net proceeds we get, which is credited to our account, is 17 cents per share. Now, if you do 10 contracts, which is 1,000 options, you've made $170 right out of the gate before moment one of the stock. And here's how. Let's look at all scenarios that could happen between now and expiration. The maximum gain in 1 week is $170. That's the most you can make. That's capped, in other words. But the maximum loss in 1 week is also capped at $330. Hence, risking $330 to gain $170, which is about a 60% gain if you look at the whole mathematical picture, which isn't bad because this particular trade, we believe, is like 80% chance. So if it has an 80% chance of succeeding the way we want it to, and we're making 60% on it, that's a good deal. Here's the best part about credit spreads. It requires no watching or heavy monitoring. It's all on the autopilot, and the position is closed at expiration, and it's low stakes. The reason for this is that you're relying on those options expiring worthless because you've made money on them by selling, and so if they expire worthless, you just bag the money and you're good. Now, obviously, that doesn't happen. They're not worthless, absolutely worthless until expiration date. So you just go away, come back at expiration time and see if you hit. You see how that works? It's very cool. Okay, how it works. FXI is 46.24. We sold calls at $46.50 strike, 10 contracts. That brought us $550. We bought $47 strikes, 10 contracts. That took away from us $380. Okay, now, if scenario one is the stock goes sideways, okay, if it goes sideways, both options expire worthless. Your net gain is $170 and position is closed. Stock goes down. If stock goes down, same thing. Let's look at that again. If stock goes down, both options expire worthless and your net gain is $170 and position is closed. The only time you lose is if the stock goes up. If it goes up, you're stuck buying high and selling low at 46.50. Your purchase calls let you buy at 47. You therefore lose 50 cents a share or 500. But I remember you netted 170 when the position was open. So your net loss is 330. This is worst case. Note that there's only 3 things a stock could do: go up, down, or unchanged. Okay? 2 of those 3 is a winner. That's why this is so interesting. It's also known up front how much you can win, how much you can lose, and that's very valuable when it comes to trading, because you can totally control your cash flow that way. Now let's do another one. This time we'll do it with puts. The reason you do a credit spread with puts is you think the stock's going up or sideways. Okay, same stock, China ETF. $46 strike expires in a week is 56 cents. Buying one at 45.50 strike is 45.50 strike expires in a week is 40 cents. Notice you're going below the strike price on no, you're going below the current price on the buy. Remember, these are puts. Your net proceeds is 16 cents per share. So your net gain, if you win, is 10 contracts. At 10 contracts is $160. Now, same thing. If the stock goes sideways, you've made 560 on the stock. You bought 45.50 strikes, which took away 400. Okay, so sideways, both options expire worthless. Your net gain is 160 and position is closed. Stock goes up, both positions expire worthless. Your net gain is 160 and position is closed. Stock plummets, now you're stuck buying high and selling low, but you have puts to sell at 45.50. Worst case is a loss of 500 minus 160, which is what, 340? So it's about the same win or loss as doing the call option spread. Okay, I hope you understood that. You might have to watch that video more than once to really get it. But the credit spread is you sell options that you expect to expire worthless. The higher the premium, the larger your credit. Now, the other way to get around the premium is to reduce it. This is the debit spread, and it works exactly the opposite way as the credit spread. Here's how. A credit spread is when you sell an option and buy another one out of the money, which we just covered, okay? But now a debit spread is the reverse. You buy an option and sell another one out of the money. The result of the debit spread is a straight option play, but a reduction of the premium. The max gains and max losses are capped. Well, why have you reduced the premium? Because you also sell an option which brings money into your account. So that covers a lot of your premium cost. It's very sneaky. For example, stock UVXY, which is the Ultra VIX, has a really high premium and it's really wild, so it's an interesting one to do that with. Stock's trading at the time of the slide at $28.92. $29 strikes sells for $1.80. Expires in 2 days. The premium's pretty high. $31 strike sells for $1. Same expiration. If you buy $29 strike call for $1.80 and sell the $31 strike for $1, you've net, it's costing you 80 cents instead of $1.80. You see that? Instead of paying $1.80 for the premium, you're only paying 80 cents. Hence, your max loss is $80 per contract, not $180 as it normally would be. The max gain in this case is $130 per contract. The reason there's a max gain is because you have to cover the one that you sold. A straight option play would require the stock to make more than a $1.80 move by expiration. But in this case, it only has to do an 80-cent move by expiration, which is way easier. The debit spread reduces the premium by 60% and has much less of a move it needs to make. All right, now let's take a look at how you would trade a spread in optionality. The paper trader has the option, these two here, that's a debit spread and a credit spread. If either of those are selected, you're going to need to get specify two different options. One of the easiest way to play a spread without having to think about it too much is to look at crystal ball and go to, let's say, credit spreads, all right? It's telling us that this spread here is the best bang for the buck. It says maximum loss is 77. No, I'm sorry, maximum gain is 77, maximum loss is 170. I decide I want to trade that. I click trade, and it fills all the stuff in for me. All I got to do is enter the number of contracts. Okay?